Yes, ginger can help with cancer, but probably not in the way you have heard. The best evidence for ginger is not about fighting tumors or preventing cancer. It is about something much more down to earth, and honestly, much more useful for a lot of people going through treatment. It is nausea. Specifically, the nausea that comes with chemotherapy. Hi, I am Michael Mirth, a registered dietitian working in oncology, and today I want to give ginger the credit it actually deserves because it sits in a really unusual spot in the world of food and cancer. Most foods get hyped for prevention with weak evidence behind them. Ginger is the opposite. The prevention claims are shaky, but the symptom relief evidence is real. So let us start with the useful part. If you are getting chemotherapy, nausea is often one of the hardest parts of the experience. Your care team will give you prescription anti-nausea medications, and those are the foundation. But here is where ginger comes in. Several randomized trials, along with reviews that pull those trials together, have found that adding ginger on top of standard anti-nausea medication can reduce the severity of chemotherapy-induced nausea. The benefit shows up most clearly on the first day after treatment, which for many people is exactly when nausea hits hardest. Now I want to be careful and honest with you here, because that is how I think this conversation should go. The effect is modest. Ginger is not a miracle, and it is absolutely not a replacement for the anti-nausea drugs your oncology team prescribes. Think of it as an add-on, something you layer on top of your prescribed medications, not something you swap in for them, but an add-on that is cheap, low risk, and genuinely helps many people get through those rough first days is worth knowing about. In cancer care, we do not get to be picky about where relief comes from. Okay, so what about the bigger claim, the one you have probably seen in headlines or on social media, that ginger fights cancer itself? Here is what that research actually looks like. Ginger contains compounds called gingerol and shogal, and in laboratory studies, these compounds do show anti-inflammatory and anti-tumor activity. They can slow the growth of cancer cells in a dish, and they can reduce inflammatory signaling in animal studies. That work is real, and it is interesting. But here is the caveat that matters. Almost none of it has been tested in people, either for preventing cancer or for treating it. And that gap is everything. Plenty of things kill cancer cells in a dish. What happens in a lab dish, or in a mouse, is a starting point for research, not proof that eating ginger will prevent or treat cancer in a human being. So when you see a headline saying, "Ginger destroys cancer cells," what it usually means is that a concentrated extract did something in a laboratory. That is a reason for scientists to keep studying it. It is not a reason for you to expect ginger to treat your cancer, and it is definitely not a reason to change your treatment plan. So how do you actually use this information? Simply, and without buying anything fancy, you do not need a supplement to get ginger into your life. Fresh grated ginger steeped in hot water makes a soothing tea. You can add it to stir-fries, soups, and smoothies. Ginger chews and crystallized ginger are easy to keep in a bag or a pocket, and a lot of my patients like having them on hand during infusion days. The nice thing is that these everyday forms double as practical nausea relief, so you get the comfort of a warm, familiar flavor and a possible benefit at the same time. One important note before you go further than food. If you are thinking about high-dose ginger supplements, talk with your oncology team first. That matters especially if you are on blood thinners, where concentrated ginger can be a concern. Food amounts are one thing. Capsules and extracts are another, and your team should always know what you are taking. So here is where I will leave you. Ginger will not cure cancer, and anyone telling you otherwise is ahead of the evidence. But as a simple, inexpensive, low-risk tool for easing chemo nausea alongside your prescribed medications, it has honest science behind it. That is a rare and genuinely encouraging thing, and it is something you can start using with your very next cup of tea.